We continue now at the top of Daf Kuf Tesamad Aleph and Mesechet Kesuvos. This is Kesuvos Daf 109a. The Mishnah here continues, Teishev et shetal ben Rosha, she has to sit until her head becomes white, meaning to say, if the bride's father promises the chassan a dowry, and he does not deliver that money, so she's already betrothed, so she just has to sit, she doesn't get a divorce, she doesn't get married, she just sits there and waits until that money comes. And the Mishnah continues, Admon Omer, Admon says, Yecholehi Shetomer, she can just say, Ilu ani pasakti liatzmi, if I was the one that promised the money for the dowry to bring into the marriage, Eishev at shetal ben Roshi, so then I would sit until my head became white. But Achshav she'aba pasak, but now that it's my father who was the one that promised the money, so mani yechola lasos, what am I able to do? Okano, so patur, either you should marry me or you should divorce me and let me go, but you shouldn't have me trapped in this situation. Amar Rabban Gamliel, and Rabban Gamliel said, Roa anias divrei Admon, I agree with the opinion of Admon. And the Gemara says, Masnisin deloki aitana detanya. Our Mishnah does not follow the author of the following brisa, who learns it a little differently. Amar Rabbi Yossi b'Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi b'Rabbi Yehuda says, Lo ne'echliku Admon v'chachamim ala posek mos lechasano pashad lo es haregel. There's no machlokas between Admon and the chachamim in a case where, let's say, somebody promises money to his son-in-law and then he stretches out his leg, meaning he doesn't give the money. Sheyecholahi shetomar abba pasak alai. There for sure, the bride is able to say, my father's the one that promised the money. Ma'ani yechola lasos. What can I do? She definitely has a claim in that situation. Alman nechliku, on what issue do they argue? Meaning, when does Admon and the Chachamim, when do they argue? Al shepaska hi al atzma. It's talking specifically about a situation where she promised the money herself. Shechachamim omrim teishev et shetal ben Rosha. The Chachamim say she has to sit until her head becomes white. Admon Omer, and Admon says, Yecholi hi shetomar, even in that situation she has a claim and she can say, Kesuvos ani she'aba nosein olai. I thought my father was going to give on my behalf. And now that my father's not giving on my behalf, mani yechola lasos, what can I do? O kanos, o pator, either marry me or you should let me go. Amar Rabban Gamliel, and Rabban Gamliel says, Roa anias divrei Admon, I agree with the opinion of Admon. And the Gemara continues, Tana, it was taught, Bamed devarim amurim begedola. When is this halacha true? It's when the girl who promised the money, she's an adult at the time that she's a bride. Avo bekatana, but if she promised the money when she was a katana, when she was a minor, kofin, so then we would force. And the Gemara clarifies, kofin laman, who are we forcing? Ilay mala'av, if you're going to say that we're going to force the father, that he has to pay the money. So ibuchami boile, on the contrary, it should be the exact opposite. A katana's word is not worth anything, so he shouldn't be forced to pay in such a situation. Elama Rava, rather, Rava says, kofin laba alita get, in a situation where she was a katana, so that promise does not mean anything, and in such a situation, we would force the husband, everyone would agree, we would force the husband to give her a get. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar, Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar says, Mishmei de Chizkiya, in the name of Chizkiya, Kol makom she'amar Rabban Gamliel roa anias divrei Admon. Any time that Rabban Gamliel says that he agrees with Admon, halacha kemosov, the halacha is like him, and the halacha would follow Admon. Amar le Rava le Rav Nachman, Rava said to Rav Nachman, afilu bebraisa, is that true even in a brisa? Amar le said to him, Miko amrinan b'mishnah, did we say that that's true only in a mishnah? B'chol makom she'amar Rabban Gamliel ko amrinan, anytime Rabban Gamliel says that, that's when we say that the halacha follows him. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Zeira, Amar Rabba bar Yirmiyah. Rabbi Zeira says that Rabba bar Yirmiyah says, Beis devorim she'amar Chanan halacha kayotzebo. The two things that Chanan said, the halacha is like the one who says similar to him. And Shiva devorim she'amar Admon, and the 7 things that Admon said, Ein halacha kayotzebo. The halacha is not like the one who said similarly. Now the reference to Chanan is to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who said that Chanan's opinion seems to be correct, and the reference by Admon is by Rabbi Gamliel, who said in some of the cases that the opinion of Admon seems to be correct. But the Gemara now clarifies, my kamra, what exactly is Rabbi Zeira saying that Rabba bar Yirmiyah is saying? If it means to say as follows, Shnei devarim she'amar Chanan, the 2 things that Chanan said, halacha kemoso v'chayotzebo, the halacha is like him, and the halacha is like the one who said similar to him, meaning just like Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said that he agrees with the opinion of Chanan, that actually is the halacha. V'shiva devarim she'amar Admon, now the 7 things that Admon said, ein halacha kemoso, the halacha is not like him, v'lo chayotzebo, not like the one who said similar, meaning even though in some of these cases Rabbi Gamliel said that he agrees with the opinion of Admon, but the halacha is nevertheless not like Admon. And so the Gemara now asks on this, V'am Rav Yitzchak ben Elazar mishmei de Chizkiya. But didn't Rav Yitzchak ben Elazar say in the name of Chizkiya, Kol makom shama Rabbi Gamliel, roa aniyas devrei Admon, anytime Rabbi Gamliel said that he agrees with the opinion of Admon, halacha kamosad, halacha is like Admon in those cases. In other words, now we're saying the halacha is never like Admon, but that should not be the case. We said before that when Rabbi Gamliel agrees with Admon, the halacha is like Admon. So Elohachi Kamar. So the Gemara says rather it should be stated as follows: Shnei Devarim Sha'amar Chanan Halacha Kemoso v'Chayotze Bo. Like we said before, the two things that Chanan said, the halacha follows him and it follows the one who agrees with him. But Shiva Devarim Sha'amar Admon, when it comes to the 7 things that Admon said, Ein Halacha Kayotze Bo. So there, the halacha is not like the one who says similarly, HaKemoso Halacha, but the halacha is like him. And the Gemara Bechulu in all of these cases. Meaning to say, Rabbi Gamliel did not agree with Admon in all of the cases, but we say, no, the halach is like Admon in all 7 of the cases. But the Gemara still questions this. But didn't Rabbi Yitzchak ben Elazar say in the name of Chizkiya, it says anytime that Rabbi Gamliel agrees with Admon, the halach is like him. And that sounds like Amar in lo, Amar lo, that if Rabbi Gamliel agreed, then the halach is like Admon. If Rabbi Gamliel did not agree, the halach is not like Admon. And so therefore, finally, the Gemara says, Elohachi Kamar. Rather, the way it should be said is as follows. Shnei Devarim Sha'amar Chanan Halacha Kemoso v'Chayotze Bo. Again, the two things that Chanan said, the halacha is like him, and like the one who said like him. Shiva Devarim Sha'amar Admon, but by the 7 things that Admon said, Yesh Mehen Sha'alacha Kemoso v'Chayotze Bo, there are cases where the halacha is like him, and like the one who said similarly, V'yesh Mehen She'ein Halacha Kemoso. But there are other instances where the halacha is not like him, not like Admon, Ela Kayotze Bo. Rather, it's like the one who said like him, meaning to say we follow whether Rabbi Gamliel said the halacha is that way. And what it means, the Gemara explains it as follows. Any time when Rabbi Gamliel said he agrees with Admon, halacha kemoso, that's when the halacha is like Admon, inoch lo. But any other times, the halacha is not like Admon. And Rashi over here explains, Hachi Garcina Amar Reb Zeira Amar Rabba Bar Yirmiyah Shnei Dvarim Shamar Chanan Halacha Kayotze Bo Sheva Dvarim Shamar Admon Ein Halacha Kayotze Bo Maiko Amar Kayotze Bo de Chanan Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Like we said, the Kayotze Bo of Chanan was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. He's the one that weighed in on Chanan's opinion. Kayotze Bo de Admon Rabbi Gamliel, and the Kayotze Bo by Admon refers to Rabbi Gamliel, who weighed in on Rabbi Gamliel's opinion. Ein Halacha Kayotze Bo. Then the Gemara initially said the halacha is not like the Kayotze Bo, meaning to say Shalo Roas Devar Vela B'Shlosha. Rabbi Gamliel only agreed with Admon 3 times. Shahayalo liros es devara bekulam. But really, again, the Gemara initially said Rabbi Gamliel should have agreed with Admon all of the times. The Gemara initially said that the halacha is always like Admon, but then the Gemara says no, the halacha is only like Admon when Rabbi Gamliel says the halacha is like Admon. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Ha'orer al Hasada. Let's say somebody protests about a field. He says that field really belongs to him. But he happens to be signed on a bill of sale for that field as a witness, saying it really belongs to somebody else. So Admon says, Hasheni noach li v'arishon kasha himenu. This person who's the aide, he can claim the second person was easier for me to deal with. I didn't want to deal with the first person. The first person was more difficult, and therefore I signed a document transferring the field from one party to another in order that I would argue with the second party, but really this field has belonged to me all along. And the Mishnah continues, the Chachamim say, no, Ibed Esechu, so he's lost his rights to the field. Once you sign a contract that says that this field belongs to someone else, and this person himself who wants the field is an aide on that contract, so he can no longer say that it's his field. He has lost his rights to that field. And the Mishnah continues, Asa simin la'achar. Now let's say he signs a document and he's describing the boundaries of a particular field, and in that document he says, such and such a field belongs to so-and-so. And now later he's trying to come and say that field is really his. So in that case, everybody agrees, Ibed Esechu. So in that case, even Admon agrees he has lost his rights to the field because again, he signed this document which essentially said the field belonged to somebody else. And the Gemara says, Amar Abaya says, Lo shanu ela aid. This entire mission is only discussing when an aid, when he signs the document as a witness. Avol dayan lo, but let's say a judge, let's say the person who wants the field also happened to be a judge in a case, and he signed the document as a judge, and that document he signed said the field belonged to somebody else, there lo ibed esechu. So there he doesn't lose his rights, because signing on a judge is not the same thing, because when you sign as a judge, you're really just signing on the signature, you're not really signing on everything that's written in in the document. The Tani Rabbi Chia, because Rabbi Chia taught, Ein ha'edim chosman al ashtar, witnesses do not sign a document, elo imkein kra'uhu, unless they read the document, so you know that if they signed, they certainly read. And we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Tes Amud Beis.